Jai Radhi. So this will be the last video before the book's released and the website's complete. And it's this is one point that needs to be clear. Because I wouldn't have taken this on if I weren't absolutely certain from the day one. So I've had him on the run ever since this was begun. And so now we're going to look at the fact that Srila Govinda Maharaj was asked to be Prabhupada's successor. And that would be the reason a bomb was sent to Mayapur. To kill Sridhar Maharaj, which was my one piece of evidence, if there was one piece of evidence that's true, then the entirety of it is true. And if one piece is out of place, then none of it is true. And that's why I made sure to let you know I've taken the contract with Bhavananda with their Gayatri mantra and the Japa initiation and my collecting on the street, that I've fulfilled my part in the bargain, and therefore I have a justification for fulfilling my part of that contract, which is honesty as a Brahmana. So I must come forward and say this. So if one piece of evidence is true, then it's all true. And when I began this, it was the reason that I got a letter from Sridhar Maharaj saying that he forgave Bhavananda for sending dacoits to kill them. Well, to kill them with a bomb that blew off Bhakti Raghavas, and then he shot the men that came back. And he's been making this hullabaloo up ever since that I've just exposed. I pulled a pin on it day one. And I was just exposed to the truth of it. That's it, but it's long in detail, fortunately. The book is only 13 pages, by the way, so I have had to cut it short and put the rest on audio, the website. But it's just, if the one fact is true, then it looks like they all could be true, because then we've got, a series of other murders, including Prabhupada's poisoning, which he and his sister said happened, and then we've got Tamal, and Bhakti Churu staged his death. And all the facts I've given in the book, but certainly that statement from Sridhar Maharaj is black and white. He's saying it himself. Well, he forgave Bhavananda for sending dacoits, and everyone, how lovely. He forgave him. And no one's really seeing the severity of that. No, Sridhar Maharaj is leaving a paper trail like Prabhupada did. And, I've lost honor for all Vaishnavas pretty much, except Vishwahedar. And there's a couple of you sort of, whimpering around, sort of, popping your head up, bit. No one in America, that's, I hope you hear that. What's wrong with you? He's American. He's one of you. This is what Americans are like. It's just not. He's not an Australian. That's why I'm able to do this. He's an Australian citizen and he owns all our properties here now. He just put his head on the chopper for someone who's truthful. And my birthday is the day he shot the men in Mayapur. And it's also the day they forged that letter. And Krishna delivered me when I joined in ISKCON. Otherwise, I wouldn't have a shot at this at all. I was fully delivered by Krishna, no question about it. I did my history in ISKCON, whole life in ISKCON. I've just loved Prabhupada just beyond imagination. And it just gives an honor to do this. It's just the thrill of the icing on the cake for a well-lived life, I reckon. I mean, an authentic service. I say a pathetic service attempt to His Divine Grace. I'm a tabla maestro. I can really do kirtan nicely. With Haridam, with the best. I can cut it on tabla, that's for certain, Uh, and that's why Ajita was so envious of me, and that's why he, they've all just put their head on those drop-ups, what if they just, because you have to back Bhavananda or you have to back me, and so I'm alone here, of course, everyone's terrified. I'm really just scratching the whole place up. They're putting my kirtans on the new Govardhan family. I mean, they put one kirtan, but they're scared of everything else. Everyone's terrified. And even the guy who did my interview, podcast guy in Europe, looks like he's a Cabal too, and he's just been. These guys get set up. They get paid or something. Well, certainly, Ford and Bhavananda. Ford has taken on this biggest, it's like an airport vaccination scanning machine that Ford is funding. It's a huge operation. And it really proves his identification with the Cabal. And yeah, I've just drawn the sword on the whole thing, I really have, there's and that's why I haven't been proven wrong in one thing. That's why I'm putting it all out there. Like I reckon, I reckon Kadamba, I reckon Killen, I reckon Sulochana, I reckon Governor certainly was banned several times for wanting to sell books. I mean, that's a criminal thing. I've got Bhavananda on racketeering is the main thing. I don't have to come in with just the cadmium alone, but I've got Prabhat saying he was